Today we are continuing our Panther rebuild, coming off of a 9-8 record and in one of the tightest division races I've ever seen last season. Bryce Young and the boys are in prime position and poised to go on a run this year and give us our first playoff appearance and maybe even our first division title of this rebuild. All right, so first things first, I'm going to take a look. If you look at the stats right there on the front of the middle of the screen, our offense is like really bad, dead last nearly in points per game and pass yards per game. Our rush offense is pretty decent, and then we have a top three defense in points per game allowed and pass yards per game allowed, and then number 12 overall in rush defense. So we're in pretty good position here. The only thing that we really need to do is build up the offense. So first things first, let's take a look at our lineup and let's see what positions that we need to add. I know our offense, I mean, really, it's just Bryce Young. I mean, Bryce Young has been very underwhelming in the first two seasons here, so I'm really hoping that he can pull it together this year and lead us to where we need to be. The offensive line is all pretty solid. I mean, you can't complain about that. Lowest overall is your 76. I mean, with the way cap space works, it's not like I can have 99 everybody. So to have mid 80s in 3 out of the 5 positions, it's pretty good. Mid 80s at the tight end. Our backup tight end is an 82. Actually, he's developed into a superstar X Factor, so that's massive. So he's going to increase overall very quickly and probably overtake Tucker Kraft this year in the depth chart. And then Garrett Wilson, Garrett Wilson dropped overall down to an 86. But Tet McMillan is still on the rise as our wide receiver 3. And then we did manage to pick up Jacoby Myers last year in a trade. And then Chuba Hubbard, 87 overall out of the backfield. And then Jonathan Brooks, 85 overall out of the backfield behind him. Pretty good weapons around Bryce. So really, this is on him this year to step it up and deliver. And then obviously our defense is insane. 99 Micah Parsons we picked up in a trade last year. Derek Brown's up to a 97. I mean, we got some very, very good players on defense. The only thing that we need to upgrade this offseason will probably be our Mike and Sam linebackers here. And then maybe get like a really high offensive lineman in free agency if there's one available. But other than that, I mean, we're in pretty good position. We just narrowly missed out on the playoffs last season. If you guys didn't see that, I'll leave a link to at the top of the screen to that video now. You guys can go check that out. But you can look at the stats or the standings rather. 9-8. It literally came down to the last game of the season. For us last year, we were 9-8. And everybody in the division had pretty much the same record going into the last 2 weeks of the season, and then Tampa Bay managed to come out on top. So disappointing finish to the season, but we did go on a little bit of a run. We won the majority of the games that we had in the back half of the season, so hopefully we can carry that momentum into this season. But let me go negotiate with these players that are ready to negotiate. Figure out which ones I want to let go, which ones I want to keep, and then I'll go into the offseason and I'll check out all the available free agents and build our roster up for this coming season. All right, so I've simmed into the offseason. I haven't checked the free agent list yet. I just wanted to take a last quick look at the lineup and see what we really need. I mean, I won't complain about getting a better receiver than this. I can always trade one of these guys, probably either Wilson or Myers. Definitely want to keep McMillan. He's our young guy. He's going to keep increasing overall and probably become a superstar X Factor at some point. He's already, I think, that superstar, the gold background. But I just want to take a quick look over the roster and try to figure out which holes we need. Obviously, I know we need Mike and Sam linebackers, I think. Maybe could get an upgrade along the offensive line. And then if there's a good pass catcher available, might go for that. Defense is looking pretty solid other than the Mike and Sam linebackers. So pretty much just Mike and Sam linebacker. And then if there's like an amazing offensive player that I can pick up, I might give it a shot, depending on our cap space. But overall, we need to build the entire team up, and the biggest lacking positions are definitely Mike and Sam linebacker right now. So let me take a look at the free agent class and see who's available, see how much cap space we have, and then let's start signing some players. All right, 14.4 million in cap space. We can check out our free agent class. There is a tight end, wide receiver Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, another good overall wide receiver, 88. Don't really have a whole lot of cap space. Let's take a look at what they got for Mike and Sam linebackers. 78 overall, 78 overall, a couple older guys. None of them really interested in signing with us. We might just have to keep our Mike linebacker. Sam linebacker, 70 overall. All right, so really can't really fill the holes on our defense with any free agents. There's no real upgrades there. So I guess the one thing we could either keep our cap space or sign like Rashee Rice maybe, and then try to trade one of our other receivers for a Mike linebacker maybe, a Sam linebacker. I don't know. Let me think on this. I'll decide what I want to do. But honestly, there isn't really too many things, too many players we can go for. I mean, we do need a third corner, so maybe we could get Jamel Dean. Our top two corners are pretty solid, but our third corner is kind of lacking. So we could go for him. Let me take a look through this list. Let me put some offers in if I want, and I'll get back to you with my final decisions. All right, so I've made up my mind. I'm gonna trade for a Mike linebacker. I'm gonna bring Patrick Queen back. So I traded Patrick Queen to the Raiders last year for Jacoby Myers. And now I'm gonna trade back for him. So most of his cap hit is gonna stay with the Raiders, and I'm gonna get rid of Jacoby Myers and this D tackle who has an almost 10 million cap hit, who's my third string D tackle. A round 3 pick 3 years from now. And then I just got to throw in like this year's like round 5 pick. I have like no draft picks left after that Micah Parsons trade. It's kind of sad. Look at this. I have like 5, 6, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7, 7, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in a couple years from now. But this should do it. I just submitted the 2 players in the round 3 pick, and it was very, very, very close. So this should do it. Patrick Queen back on the squad. We're going to send Jacoby Myers back. And now what I'm going to do, because I didn't have enough cap space to sign, to give Rashee Rice a contract. I kept going into the negative. But now I do. So now I'm going to sign him. I'll bump the years up a little bit. It gives me a little more money to work with. And I'll try to give him maybe a little bit of an overpay, just to make sure we get him. But I don't really have anybody else that I need to sign, so maybe I'll give him like a little bit more money, because he's kind of like in the middle when it comes to like wanting to come here. So I'll make him that offer, and then I can see where the top offer right now. Let's evaluate the offer. Hopefully he takes it, because if not, I'm kind of screwed. Oh, he didn't take it. He went to Arizona. All right, so now I'm kind of screwed. Let me see other wide receivers available. Zay Flowers. Zay Flowers is probably the best one. He's also pretty young, and he's a little higher overall. So let's try to get Zay Flowers. He's a little young, so yeah, we'll give him a 5-year. Like, give him like 14. He has no interest in coming here. So let me 14.5 or 15, and then maybe like 10.5. I think that's like the same deal that we gave to him. Yeah, we're still not near the top. I'll withdraw my offer. I don't really know what else I can do at this point. Man, I was really banking on landing Rashee Rice, and he did not want to come here. All right, let me see if I can restructure some contracts for some players, and then submit a better offer for Flowers. Give me like 2 seconds. I'm gonna go restructure some deals, try to free up a little more cap space to be able to get him, because we really do need a wide receiver at this point. All right, I just restructured Garrett Wilson's contract, and it freed up a ton of cap space for us. So now we have plenty of cap space to work with here. It freed up like 14.5 million. So I'm just gonna give Zay Flowers like a Hail Mary offer. I don't want to spend like too much on him, because it will come back to bite me at some point. But I think maybe like let's make this offer. Let's see how strong of an offer that is, because he's gonna have he has a couple of more offers. So hopefully, I mean, I don't really want to go any higher than that. So I think I'm just gonna evaluate these offers and see if he takes this one. He didn't take it again. He went to Atlanta. Oh my goodness. All right. Now I'm kind of really struggling. Hold on. Let me figure out what to do. I'll be right back. All right, so as far as wide receivers go, there really isn't anyone else available that's good. So I'm just gonna go for Dontavian Wicks, because he's the most interested in joining the team. So I'll just give him like a 2-year deal. I'll bump him up to like 4.5 million. Hopefully he signs. I don't see he has no other offers, so I'll evaluate these offers and he'll sign with us. Nice, perfect. All right. I mean, we're not in like the worst position possible because if we look, I'll have to reorder the depth chart first just to show everybody in the right position. All right. Then we look at the lineup because we still do have Tet McMillan, so we have an 86 and an 85 overall receiver, and then our third string receiver will be Wicks, who gets bumped up to an 80 overall with the morale boost. So honestly pretty good. Like not the worst. I think it's a good trade for us because now we get a massive upgrade at our Mike linebacker position. We get Patrick Queen back. Now we really only have one weak point of the defense, our Sam linebacker. But this guy is still young. I think he just came out of a draft like last year or the year before. So still in a pretty good position. Having only like one hole on your team, I mean that's not bad. And then one hole on offense, or not even a hole really, but I mean right tackle and center could definitely use an upgrade. But other than that, I mean this is a pretty solid team. But again, it's all going to come down to Bryce Young. So Bryce Young is going to need to perform for us. It kind of stinks Garrett Wilson's losing 3 overall. And he doesn't, I don't even think he has a development trade because he is like just a plain background. So that kind of stinks. But it is what it is. I freed up a bunch of cap space. So worst case scenario, we can always try to land somebody mid-season. Maybe we can swing a trade if we need to upgrade anything. But overall, I think we're pretty good right now. So I'm just going to move into the season and we'll start simulating some games and we'll see how we get along. I do have a couple other holes on the roster to fill, like kicker and punter and everything. I'm just going to do that on my own. It's not really a big deal. Don't really feel like anyone cares to see that. So I'm just going to sim to the season with the roster that I build, and then we're going to start simming some games, and hopefully we can have a better season this year, and hopefully we can win the division, make the playoffs, something. I mean, we were literally came down to the last game of the season last year, so we're close. All right, so we're ready to head into week 1. We can take one final look at the lineup before we start simming some games. Offense is pretty much the same as you last saw it. Garrett Wilson, he did actually go back up to an 89 overall, which is good because we need that. We still have Leggett and Dontavian Wicks as our third and fourth wide receivers, so we could use an upgrade for our third wide receiver, but it's not really the end of the world. I mean, having an 89 and 84 as your top 2 is still pretty good, especially when you have an 87 overall running back. And then you have, I got to reorder the depth chart. This guy's up to an 84 now. So he'll take over Tucker Kraft, and he's a superstar X Factor. So we definitely needed that. And then our defense, we got Patrick Queen back. So we really only have one gap on the defense, and that is our Sam linebacker spot, which is no big deal. Everyone else on the defense is pretty solid. So hopefully they continue their success that they had last year, being a top 10 defense. Top 5 in pass, top 5 in points, and then top 12, I think, in run defense. So hopefully they can keep that up. Let me make sure I remember to reorder my depth chart before I actually start simming games, so that way we get the best possible players in the starting roles. I should have changed our tight end there if you look at the lineup. And yep, there he is. All right, superstar X Factor tight end is up to an 84 overall after the preseason. So he already went up, like 2 or 3 overall just in the preseason that I simmed. But here we go, week 1 against the Colts. Let's sim a couple of games. I'll sim like 2 or 3 games, and we'll see where we're at. And then I'll decide. I mean, I'm going to sim like just one game at a time. I'm not going to jump to mid-season. I'm going to kind of see how we do. And if we are losing a lot and I feel like we need to make a move, then I might try to make a trade to make us better. Hopefully Bryce Young has a good year this year, man. Then we really need it from him. He hasn't had a good year for us yet. He's been pretty mids every year, so hopefully this year he can go crazy for us. All right, I simmed week 1 against the Colts, and we come away with a 34-17 win. That's exactly how we want to start the season. I'm just out of curiosity, I want to look and see how Bryce did. 184 yards and 1 passing touchdown. So he didn't do too great, but I mean, 13 out of 16, 184 yards and 1 touchdown and the win. That's all you can really ask out of him. Chuba Hubbard, with 82 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns, and then Jonathan Brooks with a touchdown on the ground as well, 46 yards. So it really seems like our run game is kind of carrying this team so far through the first game. Leggett actually gets a touchdown in the wide receiver 3 spot. Hopefully Bryce can keep this up. I mean, he's not blowing me away with his stats after one game, but he's playing good football. He's not turning it over. He's doing everything he needs to do to win. But now we have a tougher game coming up against an 89 overall defense of the Texans. I got trade offers. Let me review these trade offers real quick. No, not really. Not really interested in any of these. Not for a 30-year-old Ray McLeod. If he was a little younger, then maybe, because he does have the superstar trait. But I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? You think I should just take that? Because Wicks isn't even really playing, so I can get myself a superstar receiver. He's a couple years older, but he's still probably going to have like a good year or two in him. So, you know what? I'll take that. I will take that. Because basically that's an upgrade. I mean, same overall, but he's got the superstar trait, so he's going to increase overall. I mean, I think that's a good deal. I'll take that. Reorder the depth chart, and then we will go to our roster, and we'll take a look. And he's actually in the wide receiver 4 spot, but he is a superstar, so he will increase overall fairly quickly, which is good. He's probably on an expiring contract if I had to guess, so I assume at the end of this year I'll have to re-sign him if I want to keep him, but we'll see. We'll see how he does at the end of the year and see if he's worth keeping. But let's sim another game or two and see where we're at. Coming out of week 2, we're 2-0. We defeated the Texans, a 31-24 win. This is exactly how we want to start the season. I'm really happy with this. I mean, we're continuing the success that we had off the back end of last season, and this is looking really good for us to potentially make a playoff push this year. We do have players ready to negotiate. I do want to take a look. So we are going to have to re-sign Bryce Young. Jonathan Brooks is on an expiring deal, but we do have Chuba Hubbard. But although Jonathan Brooks is only 24 years old, I might try to keep him. It depends to see who else is there. We definitely want to keep this guy because we need to keep our safeties intact. They've been good for us. Offensive line's going to need to be improved during the offseason. Kendall Fuller, our corner's on the way out. All these 60 overall players. Kicker and our punter I'm not too worried about. Then McMillan's going to be going to need his 5th-year option accepted, which we will do. So let's try. I'll submit some contract offers for these guys, and I'll try to keep them all on the team. I mean, the safety, he's going to be pretty cheap. He might even accept, I'll start out lowballing him. I'll give him the offer 6-7. See if he takes that. He's on the fence. All right, so he's close. So next week I'll just bump up the bonus a little bit, and he should accept that. Jonathan Brooks is going to be a tough one to keep. Let me try to get Bryce first, because Bryce is going to be expensive. So we're gonna have to restructure some deals in all likelihood to try to keep Bryce. So I definitely want to keep Bryce because I want to win the Super Bowl with him. So I'm gonna bump him up to a 6-year. Is that max you can go? 7-year? I can go 7-year deal. Let me restructure some contracts. Because I definitely want to lock Bryce up long time, and I don't even think it lets me make the offer. Yeah, it doesn't let you make the offer. All right, let me restructure some deals and free up some cap space, and I will try to lock Bryce Young down now. All right, I'm not going to be able to re-sign Bryce Young right now, so I'll worry about that at the end of the season. I'll worry about re-signing my players, because you do get a 1-week period before free agency starts that you can re-sign all your players. And then once free agency does start, you are able to re-sign your players through just normal free agency. And I know that once the players that are gone, I'll get a little bit extra cap space anyway. So I'm just going to do that. So for now, let's just sim a couple more games to see where we're at. I mean, if we get to mid-season or so and we only have 1 or 2 losses, I'm probably just going to keep on going where we're at. 3-0 through the first 3 weeks. Big division win for us. We got another division game Monday prime time in week 4. Let me send This guy was close to accepting this offer, so let me just bump it up a little bit. Okay, he's still on the fence, so I'll have to bump it up like a little bit more. The 6-7 strategy did not work. Oh man, yeah, next year is going to be rough for us because we're losing a couple of good players, and we're going to need to spend a lot of money to re-sign Bryce. Let's jump to next week. Hopefully, we can beat Tampa. Big Monday night game, division winner from last year, and we kill them 38-15. Oh my goodness. Okay. All right, let's get our safety locked down at least. I want to keep our defense intact. How old is he? He's 28. I guess a 3-year deal is fine. Hopefully he accepts that. All right, perfect. So we got him. Probably about the cheapest deal we could get him on. Bryce Young, I still can't. I'm too far in the negative with cap space, especially after signing our safety. But I'll definitely be able to free up some cap space once the season's over. So I'm not really worried about that. Maybe, I mean, I might have to trade someone as much as it sucks. In order to keep Bryce Young, I might have to trade someone. So let me look into that. Let me see what I can get for some potential trade candidates, and see if I can free up enough cap space to sign him, because I do have a lot of good players on this team that I am paying a lot of money to. So it's going to be hard to re-sign my quarterback with all those players. So I might have to trade somebody, might have to make a tough decision. But so far so good. I'll sim another couple of weeks. And as we get closer to the trade deadline, I'll look at the roster. We come out with a win against Jacksonville as well. 5-0 start to the season. Oh my gosh, we're actually killing it. This is going to be this has got to be our first playoff appearance. I mean, this is unreal. All right, I'm going to take a quick look. I'm going to look at my roster and I'm going to see if I can put anyone on the trade block. Because the trade deadline is probably coming up in like week 8, probably, if I had to guess. Usually it's like right around the midpoint of the season. So let me put find a couple of players I can maybe put on the trade block. Maybe unload some cap space and see if I can get rid of them. Get maybe some decent players in return. And then hopefully that gives me enough cap space to re-sign Bryce. All right, so after doing a little bit of research, I found that Xavier Legette has a $30.8 million cap hit in 2028. So I think I found my culprit for why I have such little cap space. So I'm not sure. That must have been the 5th-year option. I didn't think it would be that much of a hit to me, but I just put him on the trade block. We're going to see if we can get rid of him. Everybody else is like pretty okay. I mean, I got a couple of guys that have big cap hits. Like Micah Parsons has a big cap hit. Derek Brown, Robert Hunt has a big cap hit. But those are all guys that I want to keep. But Legette is, I mean, by far, he's got the biggest cap hit for a player that I don't really need. He's a good player, but for that much money, I think I'd rather have Bryce. So hopefully somebody will give us an offer for him. But either way, I mean, look at this right now, 5-0 to start the season. Where were the stats? We're first in offensive points per game. We're 4th in pass yards per game, which means Bryce Young is doing great. We're 7th in rushing. We're 19.6 points per game allowing on defense. That's 6th in the league. We are having a very, very good season. I mean, overall, look at this team. I mean, if we win the Super Bowl this year, I guess it doesn't even matter. I don't even need to worry about next year, because my whole goal for this is to just win a Super Bowl. So if I win a Super Bowl, then the rebuild is done. We did it. But I don't want to get ahead of myself with a Super Bowl, but I mean, these are very promising stats through the first 5 games of the season. And we come away with another win. We start the season 6-0, and we do have some trade offers, so I definitely am going to review these offers. I'm not really too concerned with what we get in return. I just want somebody who's good that has like a pretty low cap hit. I mean, Kenny Clark is a good player, but again, that's a very high cap hit, and I feel like that's gonna come to me. Let me look at my roster and let me see which one of these players will benefit me the most. All right, so Kenny Clark's on an expiring contract. He's only got 1 year left in his deal, so that would be this year. But he would be a massive upgrade for us in our D-tackle 2 spot. I am curious, though, if trading Legette is going to get rid of his cap hit for next year, or if I would have to cut him. Because I don't know how that works in Madden. I don't know if there's any way I can even look at that. Um, I don't know if I can cut him and then or if I trade him, if his cap hit for next year will go away to the team I trade him to, or if it'll stay with me. I don't really know. I think I'm gonna trade him, and I'm just gonna see if it does. I'm not sure if it will. Actually, let me take a look. How much cap space do I have right now? I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess I could just go to the trade center. All right, 39.8 million in cap room. Okay. So this Kenny Clark 18 million cap hit is going to be for this season. So that's really not that big of a deal because we have plenty of cap space for this season. It's next season that we need. So I'll accept that trade. And let me take a look now at our cap space for next season. Let's see if that actually got rid of the hit. Hopefully it did. If not, I'm gonna have to get rid of somebody else and probably just have to cut him, which really sucks. But let me take a look at that and see if it got rid of the cap hit. All right, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of new to this. I don't really know. I don't know how to check and see my cap space for next year. I don't know if it shows up because if I try to, because I'm still heavily in the negative if I try to offer Bryce a contract. The best I can get is like negative 19.7, and I'm probably gonna have to give him a little bit more money than that because I think his interest in re-signing is kind of like in the middle for us. And he is up to a 90 overall. I'm pretty sure it says 84, but I just looked at the roster. It said 90. Where is it? Manage team, lineup. Yep, he's up to a 90. I don't know if that's a morale boost though. The +6, that might be a morale boost. So maybe he is only 84. But I'm just gonna bank on the fact that hopefully I can at the end of the season, that like 1 week that I have to re-sign my players. I'm gonna hope that I have enough cap space at that time to do it because I think once the season ends, it frees up a lot of cap space with all the players that are going leaving. I'm not sure how that works, but I know for a fact that once you get to the end of the season and actually get to the free agency period, I have more cap space than it says I have. So I don't know exactly what happens there, but I know it does. So let me sim a couple more games. I think I'm happy with our roster right now. The biggest concern is going to be getting to re-sign Bryce Young at the end of the season. So hopefully we are able to do that. If not, then I guess I'll probably just have to sign a new quarterback and change the thumbnail. But I'm going to try to re-sign Bryce Young as best I can. But let's just sim out for the majority of the rest of the season. And let's see if we do it. I mean, we're 6-0 right now. So we might even just win the Super Bowl. Oh, we finally take our first loss to the season, a 20-7 loss to the Tennessee Titans, an absolute trap game. What is Tennessee's record? Oh, Tennessee's 5-2. Okay, they're good this year. So not a trap game, just we played against a good team and lost. Let me sim a couple more games. We'll get to about halfway through the season. I'll sim to like week 10. And then we'll check on the stats, and then we'll sim out the rest of the year. We should have the division pretty in control right now at 6-1. Yeah, I mean we're 2 games up in the division, so as long as we don't absolutely fold in the back half of the season, we should be all right. So let's take a look at our schedule through the first 10 weeks of the season. We're at 7-3 right now. Those last 3 games I just simmed, we defeated the Falcons, and then we lost to the Eagles, and we lost to the Commanders. 2 close games there. And now we're set up Thursday Night Football against the Packers. And then we get the Jets, the Giants, the Bucks, the Cardinals, the Cowboys, and the Falcons to close out the season. But right now we're sitting at 7-3. Let's take a look at the division standings. There we are. We're still 1 game up in the division. Atlanta's hanging around. But we're in a good spot right now. We're tied for the best record in the NFC. The Chicago Bears are also 7-3. But let's sim through a couple more weeks. We're getting pretty close to the end of the season here. So I've done pretty much everything I can do this season for this team. So let's just sim out the rest of the way, and hopefully we can make something happen. All right, so we're headed into our bye week at 9-3. We did beat the Packers and we beat the Jets. So we got 2 wins in a row. In our playoff picture right now, we are currently the 1 seed in the playoffs, which is massive. Although I'm not sure if I want to be the 1 seed because I feel like the 1 seeds never sim too well in the playoffs. But it is what it is. For year 3 of this rebuild to be sitting at the 1 seed right now during week 13 bye, can't really ask for a better position than this. So let's sim out. Got like a couple more games. Let's sim out the rest of the season, and then we'll get into the off season, and I will see, hopefully, or not the off season, the playoffs. Hopefully we can hold out the division where we at right now. All right, so we regained a two game lead on Atlanta. They did lose one of their last 2 games, which is good for us. No, we don't want to quit. I'm gonna go back here. Let's sim a couple more weeks. See where we finish the season at. So I've simmed up to the last game of the season, and as you can see, it is not. I think it's for the division. 10-6 Carolina Panthers against the 9-7 Falcons. We did just lose like 3 straight games. I simmed them all. Yeah. So we beat the Giants 27-0 after the bye week, and then we have 3 straight losses to the Bucks, the Cardinals, and the Cowboys. And now we play Atlanta last week of the season, basically for the division. Because if they win, we're both 10-7, and I think they might take the division. We do. Where was it? It's over here. We did clinch playoffs. If you look there, we have the X. We clinched the playoffs. But I'm not sure. I don't think we've clinched the division. Yeah, so it's not a Y, so we haven't clinched the division. So if Atlanta wins, I think they do win the division. So this is a big game. We already are in the playoffs, so that's massive. It's our first playoff appearance. In year 3, we got our first playoff appearance, which is good. But this game is going to be huge. So let's sim to next week. We already know we're in the playoffs, but hopefully we can win and win the division. Let's go. 34-17 dub over the Falcons. We win the division, and now we have the Arizona Cardinals in the wild card round. Let's take a look at the playoff bracket. 1 seeds are the Cowboys and the Titans. We are the 3 seed, which is good for us. So we're playing the 6 seed Cardinals in the first round, and then if we win, we'll go on to the next round. Hopefully we can win, make a divisional appearance. Let's take a look at the stats for the end of the year. Let's see how Bryce did. Bryce Young, 3,799 yards, 27 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Very good year from Bryce. Probably his best year so far. I don't remember his exact stats, but I know he was pretty mids the past couple of seasons. But yeah, that's pretty good. A pretty good year from Bryce. As far as rushing goes, he also had 181 rushing yards and 5 rushing touchdowns. So that just makes it even better for him. 32 total touchdowns, 11 interceptions. Chuba Hubbard, with almost 1,200 yards, 9 touchdowns. Jonathan Brooks with 393 yards and 10 touchdowns. He was a touchdown machine as our running back too. And our leading receiver for the year, Garrett Wilson and Tet McMillan, pretty much right in the same ballpark there. In our mid-season edition, or early season edition, I guess, Ray McLeod, 759 yards and 5 touchdowns. And then our new superstar X Factor tight end, 623 yards and 3 touchdowns. Pretty solid year for the boys, making the playoffs. But this is the big one here. It's do or die at this point. Let's sim this game. Hopefully we can beat Arizona, man. This is going to be really disappointing if we come all this way and have such a monster year just to go one and done. Especially with the uncertainty of the future. Because I'm not sure I'm going to be able to re-sign Bryce Young. It's going to be really, really, really hard for me to get him. I'm going to have to do some cap gymnastics to be able to get Bryce Young back. But man, let's sim this game. Fingers crossed. Hopefully we can come out with a dub. Oh, we lose in the wild card round to the Arizona Cardinals. Oh man, a tough way to end the season. I mean, look at our NFL rank. Look at our NFL rank for all of our stats. I mean, we're top 10 in everything except for pass yards per game. We're unbelievable offense, unbelievable defense. 87 overall team, 11-6 final record. Oh my goodness. I cannot believe that we lost in the wild card round. That is just, oh my goodness. That is awful. Oh man. Just to add insult to injury, our division rival Atlanta Falcons are in the Super Bowl against the Tennessee Titans. Oh my god. Here we are with our 3rd season of the rebuild recap. The Atlanta Falcons, our division rival, wins the Super Bowl 41-38 in a crazy game over the Tennessee Titans. Michael Penix, Super Bowl MVP. Yearly awards, we got Joe Burrow with the MVP, a random generated coach for Coach of the Year for the Titans. Burrow also wins Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year is Jalen Walker of the Falcons, and then the Rookie of the Year are these two generated rookies. But man, that was a great year for us overall. I mean, 11-6, winning the division, making the playoffs. Unfortunate run, one and done in the playoffs, but what are you going to do about that? You know, we win the division, but we don't win the Super Bowl. So on to next year. Biggest mission going to be making sure we are able to re-sign Bryce Young. But I'm going to go. I'll go into next week. This is going to be our last chance to negotiate with Bryce before the free agency period. So let me see. Hopefully, I'll accept McMillan's option because we definitely want to keep him. Bryce is up to an 86 overall, and we still have negative cap space, but it's a lot less negative cap space. So let me, before I forget, because it'll probably be a couple of days before I record, get to record the next part of this. Let me try to restructure some contracts and make sure we get Bryce Young locked up before I finish this video. Just so I don't forget at the start of the next video, because I'm kind of an idiot sometimes, and that would kind of ruin the whole purpose of this. So let me mess around a little bit. Let me re-sign Bryce Young before I end this, and then everyone else is going to have to walk just because we don't have the cap space to keep them, unfortunately. But let me re-sign Bryce Young before we finish up here. All right, restructured deals still didn't work. Just going to franchise tag him. I'll see you in the next season.